2025 is on track to become the worst year for Toronto real estate in nearly 3 decades. And when I say Toronto, I don't just mean the city of Toronto, I mean the greater Toronto area. In this video, I'm going to go over the stats for the month of June and what's actually happening in the market and whether or not you should buy a home this year. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dilyar Murat. I'm a real estate broker here in the greater Toronto area. I help people buy, sell, and invest in real estate. If you're watching this, all I ask from you is a like and a subscribe because you will not be disappointed as I will be posting every single week. With that said, let's get started. I want to start off by reviewing 2025. I mean, time really flies and we're already halfway through the year, which means we now have 6 months of data to look at and analyze. So for the first 6 months of the year, we've had just shy of 31,000 home sales in the greater Toronto area. And that is a very low number. To put things in perspective, 2024 was one of the slowest years in real estate. And this year, year to date for 2025, we're 16% behind 2024 in terms of number of home sales. And if you think the resale market is slow, you should look at the pre-construction market because pre-construction and new construction is extremely slow. And in the pre-construction scene, condo sales are down 65% and single family home sales are down 50% year over year. And you got to keep in mind, we're comparing this to last year, which we said last year was already very slow to begin with. So you can say the pre-construction scene is pretty much dead right now. And on top of that, the average rent prices have been coming down in 2025 all over the GTA. So investors are pretty much hibernating because nothing really cash flows if you're putting down 20% down and you want to invest in a property. So market as a whole kind of stinks, right? There's a standoff between buyers and sellers right now. And the buyers don't really want to pay and sellers don't really want to budge. Now, the Toronto Real Estate Board just released the numbers and the stats for the month of June. So I'm going to go over these numbers with you together. And also, there's something that you don't see in the report, which you have to stay tuned, and I'm going to show you what that is. So the average price of a home for the month of June in 2025 is $1,100,000 roughly. And that's down about $63,000 compared to the same time last year. This means average prices in the GTA are down 5.5%, and it's now taking 42 days to sell a property on average. Another thing that I want to point out is that GTA Real Estate Board has never seen 32,000 active listings at once. I remember people were freaking out when active listings hit 20,000 last year and then it hit 25,000. But now we're over 30,000 and that's a very high number. And I know there are a lot of people that will just point their fingers at condos and say, well, it's the condos, there are just too many of them for sale. The houses are doing fine. Well, condos actually represent 1/3 of the active listings. So the rest are houses, semis, and townhouses. But let me quickly talk about the condo market first, and then we're going to go over to the Durham region and I'll break down some more numbers. So the condo market is split into two segments. There's condo apartments and then there's condo townhouses. In the city of Toronto, there are almost 7 months of inventory in the condo apartment segment. Now in downtown Toronto, there's now almost 8 months of inventory, right, in the condo apartment segment. And most of them are 1 bedrooms or 1+ dens. Anything over 5 or 6 months is really a buyer's market. So this is a market that's heavily favoring the buyers. There's just so many condos for sale and very few people are actually buying them. Now here's the interesting fact, okay? In downtown Toronto, in CO1 and CO8 areas, the number of condo sales as well as active listings are pretty much identical to the same time last year. But prices are down this year by 6 to 7%. Now, condo townhouses are different, right? I mean, especially if it's a good sized condo town with a nice little backyard, those are doing much better than condo apartments, and they're sitting at 5.5 months of inventory. Now, let's shift our focus over to the Durham region. Now, in terms of months of inventory, Pickering is sitting at 3.8 months of inventory. Ajax is 3.2 months. Whitby has the lowest months of inventory right now, sitting at 2.7. Oshawa has 4.3 months of inventory, and Clarington is 3.1. So roughly, Durham region is sitting at anywhere from 3 to 4 months of inventory, and that is an indication of a balanced market. Because people are still moving out to Durham due to affordability, right? And when you look at these stats, these numbers are pretty much the same as last year's. There's not much of a difference, but I'm gonna show you something because people aren't talking enough about the prices. What I'm about to show you is actually gonna blow your mind, okay? I'm gonna show you the median home prices in Durham region in June versus last June versus the June before. So if you look, for the most part, June of this year, with Pickering, Ajax, Whitby, Oshawa, and Clarington, we are down about 5% compared to last June, right? But I want you to focus on June of 2023. June of 2023, average price of a home, a median price of a home in Pickering was $1,015,000. Now fast forward to today, 2 years later, median price is $927,000. That's almost $90,000 drop. Now in Ajax, median price of a home was almost $1,995,000, and today it's $895,000. That's a $100,000 drop. Whitby, in June of 2023, median price of a home was $1,030,000. 2 years later, right now, median price of a home is $915,000, representing $115,000 drop. Oshawa was $810,000 2 years ago. Right now it's $740,000. And Clarington was $860,000 2 years ago. And right now it is $772,000. Now if you look, the median price of a home is down about 7 to 8% compared to 2 years ago. Now I say this because we're excluding the COVID times altogether, right? We're not even looking at 2021 or 2022. We're just looking at the last 2 years. It's also important to point out that Bank of Canada had 5 or 6 rate cuts in the last 12 months. Now, it's also important to point out that Bank of Canada had series of rate cuts in the last 12 months. So the average mortgage rate today is just over 4%, right? I mean, if you're getting an insured mortgage, you can maybe even get as low as 3.89, but on average, you're looking in the low 4%, whereas 2 years ago, fixed rates were well over 5%. So I just thought I could do a quick math for you, okay? So let's just say you bought a home in Whitby in June of 2023. You paid $1,030,000, you put down 20%, your monthly mortgage payment would be $4,600 based on interest rates at the time. Now fast forward to today, okay? The same house that you would have bought for $1,030,000 in June of 2023, now you can get that same house for $915,000. Also with 20% down, your monthly mortgage payment would be $3,600. That's $1,000 difference in monthly mortgage payment for the exact same house 2 years apart. And not to mention your down payment would be $23,000 less. Now, I'm not saying this to encourage you to buy a place because this might not be a good time for you at all. But if your situation allows and if you assess your situation, it may be a good time for you to buy, but I'm gonna leave it up to you to decide. So yes, homes have become more affordable in the last 12 months. There's no doubt, right? I mean, prices are cheaper, rates are lower, but at the same time, it really just depends on your personal situation before you make any move. I mean, you may feel shaky about the economy, your job situation may be shaky, or you might just have a different view, and that's okay. But if you are thinking about possibly making a move in the near future or maybe even next year, and you just want to talk to someone about your plans, I would love to talk to you. You can do so by booking a meeting with me through the link in my bio. And with that said, thanks for tuning in, and until next time.